Hello guys, hello everyone, hello world. Welcome back again to this video tutorial with the OSP Pro. In this video again today I'm going to show you how to start up main with Python. Most of you guys have been asking that question, how to get started with the Python, how different Python into our machine, and how to get started. Now give us something ready. Watch my first videos on the installation and things like that. What we need to do, let's get started. Now when you can always go to your CMD, when you go to your CMD, you should be in position to if you type Python, press enter, you should be in position to get the version of Python installed. Now for me I have three versions. I have Python 3.6, I have Python 3.7, and I have Python 2.7. Now, to make all the stuffs work out for you, it will depend on how you organize up your Python, especially on the command prompt. On the environment variables. Good. So, the way you put your stuffs on the environment variables is to determine how your stuff is going to work. So, this is it. If you check on advanced system settings, environment variables, so this is how Python is like. Good. So I happen to add there my path. This is some of the stuff. Make sure Python is added to the path, Python 3.6, 0.7.6, and I also have Python 2.7. Make sure you have all the all of your Python to the path. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't add it to the path, it will be confusing. If you don't know how to add the path, just check on my video tutorial on how to add Python to the path and start programming, so that you don't take a lot of time there. Now the other way around, just take you straight. Also, even after just typing Python here, you can be in position to start up a program, like maybe print something, maybe you can use single quote or double quote, maybe print hello world, something like that. Now that's it. That's just simple stuff. Now we always use the CMD if at all make for hacking and maybe things like that. We don't always use Python on the other side, this side here, for the real purpose of maybe a project, things like that. Yes, here you can also do a lot of stuff, like give us something. If I simply say import, you're importing something like maybe a matplot, and then it's like matplot library.pyplot, maybe as plot. Now I always used to use this one here from here because of its fast it can produce for your stuffs within a short period of time, but I don't advise you to utilize this pattern because fine if you happen to cover what you want, blah blah, you want even to graph 1 or maybe 1 2 3 4 5. Let me just take that for now. And maybe B is equal to having maybe the following: 6, 7, 8, 9, 6. They have to be the same. So that implies in simple time plot. If you have to plot maybe something like down on the graph, plot A. You could even put the labels, blah blah. I'm not going to put that, so it's going to calculate the other side and give us the complete stuff for that, which is that those are the coordinates for that. And plot for me. Okay, you could say plot A, or you can just say maybe plot for me A, B, something like that, which will generate for us those coordinates. So if I simply say show, this one simply we're going to show for us a simple graph, and that's it. Now that's what I'm saying in simple term. Always use it, or use it whenever you're going in for hacking or things like that. Now this one is not something that I don't want taking much onto. Let's just get started and get to know what to do and how to do it. Now my machine is a little bit frozen, or it's freezing a bit, I don't know, but let me take you now. We don't use this console application, this console interfaces. We don't use them. Like I've said, we use them only maybe if I'm going to make a hacking tool, or I'm going to try to hack something like that. That's what we do. But this is just a graph, like I've said to you, which is going to be drawn up. So if you see, that's how the graph is like. That's what we have just come up with. Now let me take it back again this side and get to know what I'm doing or what I'm saying. Go back to your go back to your PC, because go to Windows button and type one on as Python. You'll be seeing something called IDE here. Okay, now IDE is the integrated development environment, which you use it for making graphical using the application like this. Now this one here is like a command environment, where if you want environment mean a command, or if you want to put some commands, we use here, because it has a lot of commands, or you utilize this command. Then if at all you want to edit, you can't edit something in the command, especially if in Python, and after pressing enter, because it's going to be limiting you. It's one-way route, and second, saving them does not mean that it's going to be running up for you. So we need to use graphical user interface, just like this one here. So if I just take back myself to this, I click on here, say new file. This is our new file. So if I just check back to this, we just try to minimize the other one so that you don't get a lot of errors on my stuff. So just close that off. So this one here is where we shall be putting Python. Maybe before I do that, when you just open up this stuff, this is the first thing you get. Then you will say new file. You get this free screen, this script screen. So here is the same thing with what I've been doing in the CMD, because when I say print maybe hello world, and I say you can use single double quote, maybe hello world, things like that pop up, especially determines on which Python level you're using. If it is Python 2.6 or for Python 2.7, you can always type to just print with that parenthesis, just give blah blah blah, you just there, and then hit enter to give you the output. But since I'm using Python 3, I should always make sure I respect it by giving up the quotes. Now let me just take myself back in here and then let you guys know what to do. So I give assumption, you say x equals to maybe something that's called an integer, because if I say the data type for x, simply the Python will understand that's an integer. How about if I say maybe d is equal to having 4 or 7 point blah blah, like you want that one there. So if I simply tell the Python that what's the data type for that element, simply the Python will understand that's a float by putting up there. That still implies to, if I say name is equal to, in quotes, maybe OSP Pro, that's the same thing. When I happen hit enter, if I still call my name, good, I get my stuff, but which type of data type, or which type of data is that, you get? So if I just type here the Python program and I say name like that, and then hit enter, I should find myself getting up a string. So with this example, let's try to make a program that can predict which type of data type a user entered. To do that kind of a program where you use a system that maybe it takes what data type a user entered, it's not something hard. Now another thing that I have to let you know, we already learned what's not data type. Let me explain to you something little called a variable. Now those are the things what most of you guys have to know in Python. Python is just much of something little of what you already know, but you just want to put them in mathematical kind of statement. So Python just format. Let me just break it down to you. When I say x is equal to 5, in a simple term, 5 is a variable. What's a variable? A variable is an element holding a place value of another element. Like give assumption, we have 5. We have x is equal to something we know, which is 9. Now that implies x, which we don't know, is equal to something we know. So when I hit enter and I call for x, means in simple term, the program now knows x, because x has already been known as 9. Or in a simple term also, if you try to cross check, I give assumption to you, if you maybe not fail to understand what I'm trying to say. I give assumption you're staying at home and you're staying with the kids, and then they are to sit on the chairs, and maybe the number of chairs are 5 and they are also 5. Then one of them, maybe give assumption, moves outside. So when the other one comes back or comes in, or other PV visitors comes in, most cases you tend to say maybe please get another share for the visitor, because you know the other share has already been taken by the other person, and that's x you get. So x has already been equal to 9. So that implies in simple term, which time you call for x, x will be always equal to 9, because at that point you have already defined x is equal to that variable, or mean x is equal to that value, which is 9. So another thing that I have to let you also know this time around is called data type, which I've already explained to you also up here. So those are the two major things that you have to know in your Python programming, or on your Python programming, that if you know it, good to go. Now let me not take a lot of time. I'm going to show you in the next previous video how to deal with something called a range. Now another thing that we need to know in Python programming is called list. Now list in other programming is called array. Okay, what's array? Array is like an element on queue. It's like heap on queue. Like if I say list equals to having maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So a list is most cases is like an element of the same data type. Most cases we tend to give them list. So if I list down and I simply say breakdown and print that, the program will definitely print from what's in the list. But also if I want to specify which element have I happened to spoke to, like if I say 0 means in simple term 1. Now let me explain this. What's a list? A list is an element on a QE, but a list to be element in a list, they are the way the price or the way the program takes them. They take them in a format of something called the first calculation is always 0. That implies the first element which you are seeing as 0 here is the first element, is the one on us. This one you are seeing is 0. Then this 2 you are seeing is 1. Let me explain this in a similar way. I have x here is equal to something like maybe use some kind of big figure so that we can always understand what we are doing. Okay, that's what we have now for now. If I say x, find us for the element. Now if I say maybe x 0, x0 means 65. Now what's 65 around? 65 means 55, 56 means, sorry, 56 is the first element, and the first element in Python programming using array is 0. That's what I'm trying to mean. That implies in a simple term 0 will be detected as the first element. And secondly, if someone comes in and I say 1 is 67, because the calculation or the format in which how we pick the element, we start with the how can I say it? They start with like the calculation I told you. It starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So if this one for is 1, Python will print it as 0. This is 2. This mean which you know is 2. That's going to be 1 in Python, and this is going to be 2, and then this is 3. That implies if I say pick from the last element in this element in this whatever in this kind of stuff, you could also just do some kind of that dot, and then we'll specify the element name level. Though I'm not going to do that at the moment, I'll just show you in another video. So if I just set 3 there, that implies in a simple term I'm trying to tell the program that pick from the last one. So guys, if you find this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can always be in chance or get a chance to know which time we post a video. You always get a chance to learn what to know to do with what to actually to come up with. And you can always be in position to comment down, and maybe also if you find like this video interesting or you find our things interesting, you can always share to your friends so that we also get more people who tend to watch our video. Let me take you back into this thing. There's something called a range. Now if I say maybe range 5, range 5 means 0 to 5, like elements in 0 to 5. Most cases we tend to use range and also something called list and range. Remember, we already explained what's a list, and we also know what's in range. So if I say list for me element in 5 in a simple term, sorry, let me try to say maybe we have let me just try to say we have our x, good, and the x is that, and we want a range of x, and range for me x, range cannot be interpreted as an integer. Wow. So let me just define another example element here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's it. So if I simply say range for me x, maybe the first element, you'll discover that now we shall get, that's it. That implies the range of 0, that's 0 to 1. You get that, because it knows that the highest the element that always you could pick in the form of array, because that implies inside here I've used array. I used something called list, so not array. So in a simple term, also if you come back again here and then you say maybe range, range for me we have x, x or in the range of maybe 3. Remember 3, that's number 4 if you don't forget my program. So that implies in simple term the program will print for us from 0 to that. So if I say print for me, there's something called list because I've been doing it. So if I just test in simple term and say list for me x in the range of 3. Remember list is just list is just what known as just try to write again. List is just like I said, people in QA. So if I say list for me that in form of 3 like that is not callable. Sorry, list not callable because x is already a list. You get? So I just need to put 3. This is 3. So that's it. So which will bring for us number 4 here. That implies in simple term when I say x in the list of 4, that's number 5. So we get always 5. So you don't again say list and then you break back down here and say list because this is a list and then this is also list, so to confuse the Python program. And at the end of the day it will say it's not callable because it's already a list. This is a list and this is the name of the list. So if you join the two, it will not work for you unless you are saying a list. Unless you are saying list is equal to something in the list, you get? Is equal to something in the list. Then the Python program can always interpret for that and then give you the output. So we have our range, a range of x. Range. If I say maybe in simple term that print for me list of this element in the range of x. You test this and I see it's not callable. Okay, fine. Just try to break them down here. I give assumption of just making a program that can add our list elements. So we have the following. We have the first number. Number 1 is equal to having the first number is equal to having the following. We have 1 blah 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 up to 7 or up to 5. Then we have our second number 2 is equal to having the list of the following element. Boop, 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 boop. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I simply say maybe print down for us num1. Sorry if I just save this one. I'm going to save in my desktop. I have some few things on the desktop, so I'm just going to save to Python the desktop because I don't want to confuse my programs. I'm just going to call this one as a list, things like that. So when I just save this one here, I try to run this, we shall get an output here as that range. That implies if I simply say I give the comma and I say num2 for the two numbers, then the Python program can always interpret that for us, and then that's it. So we shall get the range of that. There's some other thing that we can always use list. Most cases we use list whenever we go deal with something called data science or data visualization in Python. Though I don't want to take in there because we may not be already having the idea. So don't, if at all, how about if I use your plus? You get? Instead of a comma, I just use the plus, because some of you guys may say, I want to get the account plus this one. The program will just add for us all those and all kind of codes together, because in a simple term as that, it has ended up in number 5. I think it will just go and pick up the other second ones. So I give assumption if I to make a graph of this kind of plottings, it will depend on how you're going to give up your variation. So I give assumption if I say it may be import what known as matplot library.pyplot as plot. Now this one you always use it, like I've said to you, in the process of something called data visualization. And then I simply say in a simple term, instead of this, I just come and say plot for me the following coordinates, and that's it. Then if I happen to just come down here and I say plot.show, just that piece of code, it will be in the position to print for us out our array or our coordinates, because if you shake back, try to see, it should be in position to print for us the coordinates, and that's it. So if you just see, I've joined the other trace, I joined up my coordinates, and the program has to print for us those stuff, just like that. So that's what I may simply say within 20 minutes, how to get yourself started up with Python for data visualization or data science. 20 minutes, how to get started with Python for data science. My friends, if you find this video interesting, you can always comment down, and then you come back to OSP Digital Solutions, where we're in always, and then you learn Python like a pro. So if you find this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, sharing up our video to your friends, and then that's all what I may simply say for now. So guys, I wish you a nice day. Please stay safe, and love you all. Thank you.